Good morning and welcome to Fat Cow Farm. Now, where we are this morning is in the high tunnel hoop house. And as spring has come along, well, I've got to get myself sorted out with getting all my seedlings squared away for the first outdoor planting, where for us here in the high country will be the Cup weekend, which is the sort of first Tuesday of November. So basically what we're doing this morning is just getting all our seedlings ready to rock and roll. And I've cleaned up in here a little bit, and we'll need to, as you can see behind me, that central bed there, we'll have to remulch that and get some new soil into there. And that's really, I think that's just well spent. So we'll have to mix that back up, and we'll grab some more stuff from the chicken coop. And then start planting out. So I've got rid of all the, as you can see, I've got all these empty pots lined up along the bench there. So what I've done is I've just emptied everything and ready for planting again. So I'll get all that squared away this morning, and then basically we'll do a bit of a look over about what we're planting and the idea of what we want. And I'll show you, I've already got some tomatoes and things like that have come up. So bush tomatoes, ones that have dried, that haven't been picked, and those ones of seed. And we've also got the same with the capsicums, so which is great. So this is the capsicums that, I've had this plant now for, wow, it's probably about 4 years. And every year it just keeps on producing, and it's more like a tree now. It's got quite a thick trunk, and so every time that one drops something, or rodents or birds or whatever have got into one of them and we don't use it, we've just let the seeds naturally germinate. And these are all the little presents and surprises you find when you start cleaning up and coming into spring, because everything starts coming alive. So, and then you can sort of move things around and make it all work for yourself. But anyway, look, I'll get this these pots and things squared away, and we'll talk about what seeds we've got going in. So I'll see you soon. All right, so what we've got here, I've just quickly planted out, what was there, 50, 60, 70 little seedlings, and a variety of different little bits and pieces that we've got going on. So just what we've done is this year is that we're planting on a smaller scale, but more often. And as per the numbers that we're talking about last year, we were talking about that feast and famine and things like that. So our plan is basically just to grow for a month and then just keep on planting out every month. So things will, like tomatoes and corn and, tomatoes in particular will sort of be a once off, and we'll just let them do it. But things like, and zucchinis would be the same, but lettuces and spinaches and beetroot and broccoli and cauliflower, they'll all be the ones that we'll do monthly. And then as the numbers start building, because I want to get to around about 35 to 40 tomato plants again. And so I've just planted out my favorites, which are the tomato fats. They're an heirloom. And then they're great on sandwiches. And I'm just going to wait probably till over the next couple of days. I just want to soak some other seeds that I've got there overnight, and then I'll plant those out. But I'm trying something a little bit new this year, because I've got a rogue mouse in the high tunnel hoop house. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some grass clippings basically and just cover all this, and then give it another soaking. And that way I think it's also is going to be like mulch, so it's not going to allow the little guys to dry out as quickly, and then allow them to really get that germination period up and running. And I'll show you what I've done with my tomato seeds, and I'm just trying something new, just to see if it works. So what I'll do is I'll go up to the other end of the bench, and I'll show you what's going on there. All right, I'll see you soon. All right, so what I've got here is the tomato seeds that I've saved from last year. And what I've done, and right or wrong, I really don't know how this is going to pan out that well. But what I've done is I've saved some seeds, and I've put them on just tissue paper. And so what I can do now is I've just, as you can see, I've been tearing off the first couple at the top there. And I typically put 2 seeds in every pot. and then I'll take the strongest. But that's typically what I want to get to the point of doing, rather than just having multiple seeds. And I think it's a little bit easier to manage, because you can sort of look and go, oh yeah, I've got, you know, enough for the year, and then off you go again, rather than going through the process. And especially with some of the smaller seeds, is that the you know, like spinach and things like that, or even the cauliflower and broccoli, that it's really hard to quite manage. So, you know, when you pour them out into your tubs there, you know, your intention is to put in 2, but you've really put in 10. Well, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, look, I just wanted to try that and see how that all pans out. Because this is how we normally save our seeds now, just in yellow envelopes, nice and dry, keep them in a dark place. The only downside is that I can't soak these. So I really have to make sure that the soil is kept moist for a period of time for the germination, and then hence the warmth as well. All right, now I'll go back and I'll show you this grass that I've put on top of the these little seedling trays, and then hopefully that deters the mouse, but also aids in drying them out. All right, I'll see you soon. All right, so as you can see, what I've done is I've just, because I'd cleaned up around the hoop house before, this is all just grass clippings from the edge trim whippersnipper thing, and so they've just been sort of sitting in the sun for the last couple of hours, so it's sort of, they've browned off a bit. But what I'll do is I'll just give these a real good soak. And, you know, I'm all up for trying things new. I've never done this before, but I was thinking about it the other day about, you know, we protect our soils so much in the chicken coop and all this sort of stuff. And I thought, geez, we really don't do much for the seedlings. And so what I'll do is, yeah, this way, hopefully we can keep moisture in the soils a lot longer. And then also too, hopefully it deters that pesky mouse, because what's been happening is that, you know, like I'll plant out corn or something of the sort, and then I'll come back next day and all the corn's gone. I'm like, oh, right. You know, and then I start rousing at the dog, because the dog's not quick enough to catch the mouse. So it's just one big vicious cycle. And but anyway, but yeah, look, you know, give that a really good soaking, and I'll just have a look now, because I sort of just, what we can do is, you can just lift it up, like so. Yeah, that's tidy as. You can just lift it up, and to see if you've got any growth, because really this is only going to be sitting here for probably 2 to 3 weeks, and it's more about the warmth and obviously the moisture, but not direct sunlight. So as soon as those little seedlings germinate, and they should be around about 10 days or so, that's pretty standard, and then give them another week running around, and then as soon as we've got some decent coverage, like leaves, then I'm really planning to sort of get that all squared away in that sort of weekend of the Cup weekend, sort of that first weekend in November, and that's really when it really starts turning here. All right, so what we'll do is we'll leave these ones for this month, and I will bring up some other tomatoes that I want to get squared away, and get them up and running, and then work a little bit further into topping up these beds. And I'm going to just change over some irrigation a bit, especially through here. I just don't have enough, so I'm going to I'll work on that over the next week or so and get that right before I top it up, and then we're home and host. All right, so for all about getting your little seedlings ready for ready for the summer, and getting your harvests up and running, like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.